Another episode of Coach's Corner, brought to you by My Game Day Collections and mygamedaycollections.com. Their styles are comfortable and an alternative to men's and women's basic tees and hoodies. They offer royalties on all gross sales or a kickback to the schools that sign up to them for up to 8%, 50% discount on all standard shipping. First return is free. It's a local company in Omaha. So look up mygamedaycollections.com. I am pleased to be joined on this episode. I'm not sure if he's pleased to be joined with Omaha Skutt boys basketball coach Kyle Jurgens. Coach, how are we doing today?
Doing good. How are you, Mike?
I am good. I'm sure you're pleased to be on here today with me.
You betcha. Oh, this is good.
How have things gone? You know, obviously, throw you the softball question first, right? Like the easy one. How's the adjustment been? You haven't gotten a full summer, but you've been able to do some things, and a late start to the summer with a team that you returned some guys, but you lost, some pieces. But how's it been going so far?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it's ramped up here the last few weeks. I think the biggest thing was it was kind of a choppy, progression to the summer where, it was just weightlifting in the beginning and you could only be in groups of 25. And so, I don't know, one of the biggest, I think, things that had to happen was just the communication and the cooperation amongst coaches. And so we're very fortunate. Coach, Turman and Coach Saunders, they've been there since I've started. And so we met several times just to make sure that we had plans in place. And then as things progressed and kids could do more, we had to continue to kind of go back to the, meeting and talking. And we try to, do everything in our power to make sure that nothing conflicts with anything else. The last thing we want is them having to make choices between, do they go to a football workout or a basketball workout? And so, I'm very, very lucky to have, those coaches to work with, and we make sure that that's not something that they have to do. And it takes compromise out of everybody. But we went from kind of the weight room to they can shoot at a basket by themselves to actually kind of having a workout to, July 1st we had camp and now we've played in a couple team camps. And so, yeah, it is important because we did lose, quite a few guys, and we're looking to, see who's going to fill in, those question marks or puzzle pieces, whatever you want to call it, for this upcoming season.
Speaking of guys, let's just kind of dive right into it. You lost Tyson Gordon, probably the best player. If he's not the best, player that Skutt basketball's ever had, he's probably second, maybe. How do you even start to replace a guy like that?
Well, you're never going to replace a guy like Tyson Gordon. That goes without saying. But, we like the guys that we have coming back. Some of the guys that the Charlie Fletcher and Luke Scar are big pieces to the puzzle. And Chuck, as we call him, Chuck, was really big for us early in the season because, Ty coming off a football season, there's still a little rust, and Chuck led us in scoring a lot in the beginning of the season. And like I said, helped us, when we needed it. And as Ty kind of got his basketball legs back, and it takes a while to when you're shooting the ball, at a certain level, because he was shooting it at a pretty high level at the end of the year, but he wasn't in the beginning of the year. And so, Charlie and Luke was just kind of a rock for us all year down low, shot 77% from the field on the season, which is, most coaches would take. And he was, I think he'd be the first to tell you he benefited from the guards that he played with, and, but he's still got to make it. So, those two guys will be big for us. And then, we have, Gage Bertucci, Sam Kudrin, these are guys who filled in spots for us, off and on last year. And some younger guys who are coming on as well.
Yeah. One guy that is back is Adam Parra at point guard. He looks like, I guess I saw you guys the other day, and it looks like he's going to have a huge role for you guys, right?
Yeah, he's decided to come back out as of the start of the summer, and man, he has not missed a thing, and he's working hard, and he played with these guys as freshmen, and so it's not like they don't know him. He's friends with them all, and so he kind of just fit in real naturally, and actually kind of sprained his ankle, so he's playing on a bummed ankle the other day, but he looks pretty good, and he's just kind of got to get the feel of playing varsity basketball again and those types of things, but definitely not worried about where he's going to be come the start of the season. And so yeah, that will be a big help to our team.
You mentioned him, but Luke Scar, I'm not sure he liked the nickname, but I nicknamed him Left Hand Luke when he was a freshman because all he could do was score with his left hand and use his left hand. He has gotten way better with all of those things, so I quit calling him that.
Yeah.
And the other day when I watched you guys, he was phenomenal. Just his effort, energy, toughness. He's a brick wall. You mentioned his scoring ability, but he's gonna have like he's gonna have a pretty huge year for you guys.
Yeah, I mean we're gonna need him to have a big year, and we're gonna probably have a little bit more emphasis on getting the ball into him. Not that we didn't last year, but we had a lot of weapons on the perimeter, and
right.
We got him the ball different ways. A lot of times off of driving the basketball late. It was, one of the things about our team last year was, when we were up in the fourth quarter, we were pretty tough because 4 guys out there were tough to stay in front of, and he benefited from. And there were games where he scored 10, 12 points in the fourth quarter, just by getting drops and 2-footers. And so there's going to probably be a little bit more this year of, getting it to him on the block and in the post. And I'm sure he's going to see double teams. So he's going to have to work on, finding open guys out of the post and those types of things. But yeah, he's really, really worked on his finishing, and it's a huge credit to Dave Eckley and Will Pope and Pete Walls. We do guards and big stuff every single day, and he's always working on both hands. Because you're right, when he started, he was, he didn't want to go to his right hand a lot, and he can do it now. And as far as his motor and how hard he plays and stuff like that, that's a given. He's always been a hard worker and just a very coachable kid. He's a guy that you can get on him when you need to, and he responds.
How winning a state championship kind of in the fashion you guys did, I'm not going to say you rolled through everybody because you did. You had some challenges and throughout the year, but you didn't lose. So how hard is that kind of to keep that expectation, or is that just something in the culture that you've built since you've been the head coach at Skutt, that's what the expectation is?
Well, we think, it's a little bit of the expectation, and we talk, we don't shy away from it. We talk to them about it. It's part of, we say, putting on the jersey, so to speak. But, last season was pretty special because it's, we were at the top from the start of the year on. Right. I wasn't sure we were going to be, but that's where we were put. And, and so that target kind of gets a little bit bigger and bigger. And, I never would have thought we were going to, the goal wasn't to be undefeated. And if you would have asked me we were going to be undefeated, I told you you're crazy. I was just trying to win. Game 1 was pretty tough type of deal. And so, as the year got on, you got a little bit worried of, shoot, people are looking at it like, well, they haven't lost yet type of deal. But our guys just kind of took it a day at a time. We just had that kind of group where they showed up every day, and like you said, I mean, we got it. I mean, we caught a little luck. We were healthy. We were healthy after football season, and and ultimately it was a team that was really, really good defensively. And so the nights where we probably should have lost, we played 3 in a row. We were at Roncalli Friday night and then turned around and played Sergeant Bluff at 11 a.m., in the Tyson Event Center deal after playing Ralston on Thursday night, type of deal where, we were really bad. And our defense, we held them without a field goal in the second quarter and the third quarter. And we didn't take the lead till the last couple minutes of the third quarter. That's how bad we were offensively. And I say bad, but they were 6'8", 6'7", 6'7", and they sat in a zone. And it's one of those games. And they were a good team. I think they got to the state championship game in Iowa. And at that point they were like 4-6 on the year. And we had just played the number 2 team in the state. So there were a lot of things, going against us, but our defense kind of always hung us right there, no matter what happened. And so, and in the end, it was a special year with a crazy ending. It's just crazy to look back now. I even talking to the coach, I saw you at the team camp on Monday, the Colorado coach. They were 24-1 last year, and they had won their first round game and then got the call that their season was over. And I didn't even know how to respond to them. I couldn't imagine that. And there's hundreds and hundreds of stories like that. And I don't know. I can't tell you how fortunate, we feel that we got to, at least finish it.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. This is what I ask everybody on here. So if you've seen these, maybe you're ready for it, maybe not. And you probably won't just give me one guy. Maybe you will. But not the most talented, but favorite player you've ever coached.
Yeah, I heard this was coming. I was thinking you might forget. Not the Tyson Gordon Wills Walrup best player. That's tough. Especially from the early days. Even my first year was around when you got started, the Harrison brothers and Michael White. I've had a really close relationship with Jackson Gordon and Jake Cooter and Austin Ash, those types of guys. I'll stay recent because I think this guy was as underrated as maybe anybody in terms of what he meant to our success over the last 3 years.
Right.
And Andrew Murfeld.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a defensive guy and my kids know, I'm a defensive guy, and he's hands down the best on-ball defensive player I've ever coached. And sure, Tyson Gordon was a huge part of our success, the last few years, but people didn't understand. Coaches did. You can ask coaches and they'll understand it, but people didn't understand that night in and night out, he could, limit or even take away the other team's, best offensive threat. And it wasn't just sometimes, it was pretty much night in and night out. And I don't think people understand. We're going to understand this season real quick how much that has to do with your success. On top of it, he was a great kid, a super leader. Him and Ty were great leaders. His basketball IQ was as high as any kid. And he just, like Ty, had a knack for making plays offensively when we needed it. When you needed a big shot or get to the free throw line. And Murph would make plays when we needed it, but they would be Murph plays. We would be, it'd be a 4-point game under 2 minutes, and we'd make a basket and the other team would take the ball out and throw it in, and he'd steal the inbounds pass.
Right.
Shoot, he did it in the last 2 minutes of the state championship game against York. And I thought that was going to win us the game.
Yeah.
So just plays like that, and we'll miss that entire class, but he was, underrated. He wasn't undervalued by us, but he's one that comes to mind.
All right. See, that was a great answer. You gave me a couple names, and then you kind of, tailed off to the right name.
All right.
That's what we're looking for there. All right, Coach. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time and joining me on here.
Thanks, Mike.